All right, let's get into it. Today, we're looking at the ultimate showdown between the titans of AI coding. You've got Google's powerhouse Gemini. Then there's the OG, the ecosystem king, GitHub Copilot. And finally, the speed demon, Cursor. It's time to see who really comes out on top.
So, this is the big question, right? Every developer's asking it. Who is the ultimate AI coding assistant? And look, it's not just about which one is the smartest. It's about which one actually fits how you work, what your budget is, and what your project really needs. That's exactly what we're going to figure out.
I mean, let's be real. These AI assistants aren't just a cool new toy anymore. They are a fundamental part of a modern developer's toolkit. They promise to make us faster, help us find bugs, and just get rid of all that tedious boiler code. But with three huge players battling for your attention, it's tough to know where to even start. So, we're going to break it all down.
Okay, for our first round, we're cutting through all the marketing hype and getting straight to the hard data. We're starting in the lab with a super rigorous head-to-head academic study that put the raw brainpower of these models to the test. This is GPT-4o squaring off against Gemini 1.5 Pro.
So how'd they actually do it? Well, the researchers threw a bunch of LEET code challenges at them, the standard proving ground for coding skills. They were looking at two really important things. First, correctness, and they were strict about it. Did the AI's very first try pass all the tests? No second chances. And second, efficiency. How fast did the code it wrote actually run? It's a simple, clean, and honestly a pretty tough test.
And here we go. The first results are in. When you look at just getting the right answer, GPT-4o clearly took the lead. It passed the tests on its first try over 83% of the time. Now, Gemini 1.5 Pro was still very solid, but it came in a bit lower, just under 75%. So in this sterile lab environment, GPT-4o was just a little more reliable at spitting out a correct solution right out of the gate.
But getting it right is only half the battle, isn't it? What about performance? Now, this is where it gets really, really interesting. We see a total flip. Even though GPT-4o was correct more often, the code that Gemini 1.5 Pro generated was, on average, just a little bit faster. It's a small difference, but it's there. This probably means Gemini's training put a real emphasis on creating optimized, efficient solutions. So Gemini might have a slight edge in writing performant code, even if it needs a little nudge to get the answer right the first time.
This quote from the guy who ran the study pretty much says it all, doesn't it? GPT-4o is the better problem solver, but Gemini writes more efficient code. So what does that mean? It means there's no single winner here. There's a trade-off. This is a fascinating setup for what happens when these raw models get baked into the products we use every day.
Okay, enough of the lab codes. Let's step into the real world. I mean, raw model performance is one thing, but how do these AIs actually feel when they're living inside your code editor? This is where our three commercial contenders, Gemini Code Assist, GitHub Copilot, and Cursor, officially enter the ring.
So here are our three fighters, and each one has a totally different strategy. Gemini Code Assist is coming in as the value king, and you'll see why in a second. GitHub Copilot is all about its home field advantage, that deep, deep integration with the whole GitHub world. And then there's Cursor, the specialist. It's an AI-first editor that is selling itself on one thing and one thing only: pure, raw performance.
All right, this is the main event, a direct clash of the features that actually matter when you're in the trenches, writing code day in and day out. We're going to see what really sets these tools apart when you're trying to build something real.
And we have to start right here, because, wow, just look at this. In the battle of the free tiers, this isn't even a fight. Gemini delivers an absolute knockout blow. It gives you 180,000 free completions every month. That is 90 times more than what Copilot offers. If you're a student or just learning or hacking on a side project, this is, well, it's a total game changer.
And here's another one of Gemini's heavy punches, its context window. It can handle up to 1 million tokens at once. Now, to put that in perspective, think of a token as a piece of a word. A bigger context window is like having a better short-term memory. It means the AI can see and understand your entire codebase at once, not just the one file you have open. For big, complicated projects, that is a massive advantage.
Okay, before we go any further, we need to talk about this key concept, agent mode. This is the next level. This is not just about auto-completing a line of code for you. An agent can take a really complex command, like, hey, refactor all our authentication logic to use this new service. It'll actually think, come up with a step-by-step plan, and then go and execute that plan across dozens of different files. It's a huge leap forward.
And this chart just perfectly lays out the different game plans. You see all three have an agent mode,
But Cursor's is seen as the most powerful, the most advanced, especially for those really deep multi-file changes. It also has the best repo-wide analysis. Copilot's superpower, though, it's that ecosystem. See, it's the only one that can automatically create a pull request for you right inside GitHub. And then you have Gemini offering its pretty powerful agent completely for free, which is just an incredible value.
Okay, we've seen the lab results, we've broken down the features. It is time for the final verdict. Based on everything we've just talked about, how do you actually choose your champion? Let's get right to it.
But wait, hold on. Before we do that, there's a really important, kind of surprising twist you need to know about. A recent study found that for experienced developers, these tools sometimes actually made them slower, even when they felt like they were going faster. And why is that? It's because experts spend a lot of time double-checking and verifying the AI's work. The takeaway here is crucial. The best tool for you might seriously depend on your own skill level. So let's get specific. Gemini Code Assist is your go-to if value is your #1 priority. That free tier is just unbeatable. It's also a no-brainer if your work is heavily based in the Google Cloud ecosystem, or if you're a student or a hobbyist who needs a seriously powerful tool without paying a monthly subscription. Now, you're going to want to choose GitHub Copilot if your entire world lives on GitHub. That seamless integration for creating pull requests and reviewing code is just fantastic. And at only $10 a month for the Pro version, it's the most affordable way to get professional-grade features. Plus, you get the flexibility of switching between different AI models under the hood. And finally, we have Cursor. You pick Cursor when speed is absolutely everything, period. It was built from the ground up to be an AI-native editor, and people who use it swear it's the fastest tool out there for really complex stuff, like a massive multi-file refactor. It's a premium tool for a premium price, designed for pros who see that cost as a direct investment in their own productivity.
But you want to know the real pro tip? The secret that a lot of developers won't tell you? You don't have to pick just one. Many of the best devs use a hybrid approach. They'll use Gemini's awesome free tier for their personal projects, they'll use Copilot for their day-to-day work in GitHub, and then they'll fire up Cursor when they have a truly monstrous refactoring job to tackle. They're tools in a toolbox, not enemies in a war.
And really, this idea of strategically using these different tools brings us to the final, massive question. When AI is this capable, when it can plan and code and fix things across an entire project, what does that mean for the role of the human programmer? It feels like we're shifting from being the ones laying the bricks to being the architects who design the whole building. So the question is, what do you think comes next? Thanks for tuning in.